Firstly, in this video, we're going to be pursuing the Nvidia Optimizations. The best way to do that, there is an Nvidia driver that you must specifically download. This driver has assisted many gamers and many Fortnite pros in succeeding their high FPS rates. Now, I want you to reinstall and, basically uninstall and reinstall an Nvidia driver. This driver can be found on a particular website. You go to Google, and I want you guys to search up 457.51 Nvidia driver. Trust me when I say this, this has made a major difference to gamers and Fortnite players out there. This can actually improve FPS, improve latency, response time, everything that'll give a competitive advantage. Once you're on this screen here, you want to go download. Now, further processes are needed to actually install this. Firstly, what you want to go to is your Geforce Experience. So you go here, bottom right click, Nvidia Geforce Experience. Once we are logged into Geforce Experience, make sure you have an account. You go to drivers, and then here it is. Make sure not to download the latest driver. Trust me, people say download the latest driver. Trust me, you'll see a big response time difference and an FPS difference with this particular driver itself. What driver do we have? Version 457.51. Everyone, now we can pursue the second Nvidia optimization. Now, we did download the driver, but we actually haven't altered and optimized that driver yet. So, what you want to do is come to that little arrow down there, right click on the Nvidia symbol, and instead of going to Geforce Experience, we're going to go to Control Panel. Make sure you click Control Panel. This will take you to all your optimization settings and all of the neat tricks that you can actually use to get the greatest performance. Now, I want you guys to go to the top left, adjust image settings with preview. Make sure you hit use my preference emphasizing. Usually this is smack bang in the middle. Make sure you drag this to performance as we want the greatest performance our PC can honestly withstand. Once you do that, please click the middle icon here. Use the advanced 3D image settings. You could click take me there, which is actually second below this, so manage 3D settings, and here you are. Now, I'm not going to go in depth of what each of these settings do, but trust me, I'm going to say this, you can click all of these top ones off: sharpening off, scaling disabled, ambient occlusion off, anisotropic filtering off, anti-aliasing, FX off, anti-aliasing, gamma correction. Now, this is personal preference. Apparently, if you've got this on, colors may look a bit better, but what I've experienced with my graphics card looks good. It's just I feel like I'm getting a bit more input delay with it on, so I'm going to personally keep that off. That's up to you. Secondly, anti-aliasing mode, keep this off, please. All of this should be off. Give you the greatest performance, lowest input delay and everything. Q to GPUs, make sure you got that to all. DSR factors, please keep that off. Now, this is where it gets nifty. Low latency mode, please change this to ultra. If not ultra, at least on. This has made the biggest difference out of all of these settings. Trust me, low latency mode, you want the lowest latency. Next, make max frame rate. You want that off because you don't want to cap your frame rate unless in game. OpenGL rendering GPU, GeForce GT 730. Make sure this is set to your graphics card itself and not to auto. Trust me, it can make a difference. Power management mode, prefer maximum performance. Make sure this is set to maximum performance, not optimal, not adaptive. You're not going to be getting the greatest performance if you set it to that. Preferred refresh rate, please keep it on highest available. Shader cache, please keep that on. Texture filtering, anisotropic sample option on. Texture filtering, negative LOD bias, allow. Quality, high performance. True linear optimization on. Threaded optimization on. And triple buffering and vertical sync, please keep those off. They are horrible. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, keep that at 1. And basically, you are complete with all of the managed 3D settings. It is a lot to take in, but trust me, these settings are probably the major settings of this whole video. Next, you want to go to Set Physics Configuration. Usually, this is set to your auto select. Do not do that. When you got to set to auto select, it can actually be applied to your CPU. Your CPU may act like your physics configuration. And that is absolutely not what you want. Next, change resolution. Please keep that on native, which usually it should be 1920 by 1080. Refresh rate, please go on the maximum that you can see. For me personally, it's 144 Hertz. Nothing too shabby here. Just set it to native, okay? Next, you can go to adjust desktop color settings. This is personal preference. The only thing I would suggest to change is your digital vibrance from, I believe it's 50. Change that to around 70 because your game would look much brighter and much more colorful. And honestly, I think I play better with it. Let's get to the next setting. Finally, this is a very crucial Nvidia optimization. Adjust desktop size and position. I used to think that the GPU scaling was good. Trust me, it adds more input delay. The only time you want to use this is if your monitor or display is response time is very horrible. Let's just say your monitor is not in a great position. Please keep that on display, okay? Make sure overriding the scaling mode set by games and programs is ticked. Resolution, you want your native, and refresh rate, make sure your highest is applied. Now, set a scaling mode. I would choose between aspect ratio or full screen. Do not do no scaling because your Fortnite game could be a small box in the middle. Just warning you that. But aspect ratio or full screen, I'm sticking on aspect ratio. Alrighty, we are back to the second PC optimization. What are we doing, you may ask? Well, we are configuring response times. Now, response time is crucial. The lowest input delay is crucial for the greatest gameplay. Now, what do you need to greater that response time? Go to Google, search up timer resolution. As many of you probably know, timer resolution basically split bang in the middle, halves your input delay. Once we search up timer resolution, please click on 1.2 free download. All you gotta do is click download. Once you click download, the application will open up. Timer resolution, here it is. You get this. That's all it is. And all you have to do is, from default, set it to maximum. And there you go. Halves it. 0.500 milliseconds. Now, the next response time optimization is probably more crucial than this. And all we got to do is search up or go to device manager. So all you got to do is search up device manager. Bang. And then go to system devices. So let's just full screen this. You want to come down here and go to, where is it? System devices. Now, you got a lot to look for here. Don't worry, it's only one simple application, and I've already done it. Here it is. So you scroll down to high precision event timer. All you do is you right click on it, go to properties, go to driver, and then here it should say disable the device. Just disable it. That's all you have to do. Welcome to the very third optimization we will be pursuing to boost our PC's performance. This is very crucial, as are all the other optimizations within this video. We're going to go to the bottom left and search up power plan. As many of you know, usually you are stuck on balanced or something like low performance or something like that. Make sure to enable ultimate performance. There are many other custom power plans made by other fans and analysts and PC builders, but ultimate performance is probably the bare minimum you will need. How do you get ultimate performance, you may ask? Well, very easy. go down to the search engine or search bar once again and search up CMD. Then it comes up with command prompt, and all you got to do is once command prompt appears, you want to click run as administrator. This is very important. Run as administrator. And then you want to copy and paste this very command here. Then you can go back to power plan, go back to power options, and then I've got an additional ultimate performance, which I really don't need. The next PC optimization is focusing on networking and internet. There is an application to fix that, and I've got it right here, exit lag. This will cost a fee, but you go to Google, you search up exit lag, okay? You go to the first website, there you are, we're already on it. Don't worry, if you aren't satisfied, there is a free 3-day trial. That is why I'm including this in the video, because there is still a trial for you guys to utilize. Once you got it open, you can actually open it up here. Once we've got exit lag open and running, you want to click top left and make sure it is active. You want to go scroll for your games. There are many games this works on, by the way. Many games, as you can see. And once you click on it, it'll install onto exit lag, which only takes 30 seconds. Anyway, once we got Fortnite open, you want to go to apply routes. But firstly, you want to go to tools, general, just go to enable high DPI scaling, that's fine. Next, you want to go to FPS Boost. You can enable all of these so they're all disabled, enable to disable, and you should be able to get the greatest FPS onto the next optimization. You say you want a safe overclocker for your GPU, actually. Well, I've got one of the safest ways to safely overclock your GPU, and it's called Msi Afterburner. I've got that, by the way. Search it up on Google. As always, go to Msi Afterburner. Here it is. You want to go download Afterburner. Once you've downloaded it, installed it onto your PC, you want to open up Msi Afterburner. Okay, so it tells you what graphics card you are on and what driver. As always, we've got 457.51. You want to go to clock. Core clock, this is really where you want to actually configure everything. Depending on how good your GPU is, mine's not very good. Mine's like maximum 70 to 80. And the more you've got, the greater. If your GPU is overheated, you can actually control your fan speed. So I can go to 100%. And in around 3 seconds, if I click OK. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my fan speed is extremely fast. That's a very quick and nifty, safe GPU overclocker. So please do utilize it if you are in need of greater FPS. Onto the next optimization. We are focusing on Fortnite, and even though these affect Fortnite's performance and the PC's performance, shall I say, we haven't actually focused upon any Fortnite optimizations. And here it begins. This is a big part of the video, as of every other optimization, shall I say. Anyway, let's go to %temp%. And you're probably wondering why we're going here. Firstly, I should add this to the optimization guide. Please go %temp% and then delete everything here, because it's just trash. You want to go to %temp% because it's an easy way to actually access this. Go back to local. Once you're here, you go to app data, then local, and then you want to go to Fortnite game. Saved, config, Windows client, and then game user settings. Before we do enter this, by the way, these are all your settings in a notepad, which is all the coding, but you can actually alter and configure this. Don't worry. We're going to go to properties, and you want to uncheck read only. It should by default be checked on read only. Make sure to uncheck that so we can actually alter and configure some of these settings. Firstly, we're going to have a look at B show grass. By default, it should be set to true. Please set that to false. And how do you do that? Is, let's just say it was set to true like that. All you'll do is click on it, delete that, type false. Make sure though, that there is a capital F in false. Make sure of that. Next, you want to go to B motion blur. Now, motion blur is a massive thing. Sometimes it's set to true, so make sure you set that to false. We can scroll down, go to display gamma. Mine's actually set to 2.200, etc. You want to delete that because that's default and set it to 1.0000000 with 6 zeros. Scroll down further and we come to B, disable mouse acceleration. Now that's usually on true. Make sure that is on false. Now we scroll a bit lower down when we found the B allow section. Make sure a lot of this is on false, by the way. Like, this has to be on false. This can stay true. This is actually the event timer that is currently on. That's not always enabled or in the files. Download high-res textures on false. Onwards and forwards, I guess. We scroll down a bit further. And we view this. Now, this is your resolution. Now, this is actually how you get stretch res. Usually, by default, people play on 1920 by 1080. So, just type 1920 by 1080. But since my graphics card's not the greatest, I have to play on 1280 by 720. As we scroll down further, you come to here. Now, make sure everything here is set to 0 apart from your resolution quality. Make sure your resolution quality, by default, really most people should be using 100, but again, my graphics card's not the greatest, so I have to use 60%, so configure that there. We come down further, don't worry about this. Come down further, and then we go to performance mode. Make sure, by the way, in game you are using performance mode, especially if you want the greatest FPS and performance. It is in the name, it is called performance mode. You know, made for the greatest performance in Fortnite. Anyway, make sure your mesh quality is 0 or 1, I believe, as well. 1 and 0 are equivalent to each other. Not 2. 2 is high meshes, whilst 0 or 1 is low meshes. Low meshes are crucial. It's mobile builds, but you're getting the greatest performance.